seemed like that was actually our trend. You know, he would get in foul trouble or struggle in the first half, and then he would respond and just have, you know, great second halves. And, you know, you want consistency is what you want. He's a way more consistent player than he was. He still has his times where, you know, I think like a lot of big guys, they get into foul trouble, they get away from some of the things that they've had success with. And but down the stretch, you know, especially after those first 4 or 5 conference games, you know, he had about a 5 or 6 game stretch there where he was, you know, he was great in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. And I think just, you know, wanting to, you know, come through for his team in those moments has probably been his biggest jump.
What do you want your team to be motivated by going into the Big Ten tournament?
I don't know if I want him to be motivated. Obviously, if you're a competitive person, you want to win the game in front of you. You know, just trying to get better more than anything, make improvement. I didn't think, once again, we were very good defensively against Indiana. You know, anytime you play somebody twice and you're not very good defensively and you win, you know, you need to feel fortunate. We had 15 turnovers against Indiana. You know, that's way too high of a number. So we got to get better. So I think that's what we're driving to do is keep getting better with each practice and keep getting better with each game.
Why is this team riding this 5-game winning streak? Why do you have this momentum right now? What's going right for you guys?
Well, there's a lot of things. You know, I think for the most part, we have a pretty deep team. I think our depth has grown, and we've had a lot of different guys step up and play well in this stretch. And even when other guys have struggled, you know, we've had somebody in that position step up and play well. I know you talked about how good Travion's been for us and how good Zach's been for us, but like Aaron Wheeler has really played well here like the last 2-3 weeks and really gave us a spark. Isaiah Thompson's done some really good things, you know, for us off the bench. It's been a hard adjustment, I think, for Brandon Newman, but he's rebounded the ball. He made a big 3 other night in the game, and so that adjustment to get into the bench. But, you know, we get Ethan back. And so when you look at our guys, you know, that come off the bench and that, you know, that play for us, like, you know, those guys are pretty good players. And I think that depth has been able to grow through Eric and Jaden's injury, through Sasha having his pause, and other guys have got more of a chance to play. And other guys have gotten more of a chance to play just because they've played well. Like Aaron has played more because he's played well. You know, Zach has played more because he's played well. And sometimes when you come off the bench, you don't get the same opportunity as the other guy, and that's a little unfair. But it's not, you know, it's not always equal. That's part of being in competition. But if you keep fighting and you keep a good attitude, things work out for you. And you know, for our guys, things have really worked out for them. Well, I think it's a cool thing. Obviously, it's a unique circumstance with the pandemic and everything that, you know, we've had to go through to get to this point. But, you know, it's, you know, anybody growing up in the state of Indiana, playing high school basketball in the state of Indiana, wanting to get into the tournament is a big deal. When I grew up, it was, you know, one class, and that was a big deal. And today it's still a big deal. It's a little different from that standpoint. But just to have young people and, you know, fans in our state to be able to, you know, kind of be, you know, to embrace the fact that we have March Madness going to be in Indianapolis the whole time is pretty cool. And I think it'll be even more so as we reflect back and say, you know, like, you know, we were able to get this. What stinks is that you can't go to the games, and obviously that's the dilemma. If you could, then I think this would be like unbelievable, you know, for the city of Indianapolis and, you know, in the state of Indiana. It's still going to be, but it's just obviously it's anybody that asks you, like, you know, how is it? You know, you're like, well, it started 4 months ago, so it's no big deal anymore. But it is different. There's no question it's different when you're playing and you don't have that many fans in the crowd, if any at all.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Do people really understand the sacrifices that you all have, you know, especially the players have made this season?
I don't think so. You know, I always talk about it with when people kind of generalize players in general, and they don't understand, like, the commitment that they have to make. It doesn't make them better than anybody. They just have a huge commitment. You know, people don't understand, like, the commitment like a wrestler has to make, you know, to be good, to be competitive, to compete at a high level, to keep weight, to do their academics. You know, that's just they don't understand that pressures that come with guys that are like they've put everything into, trying to compete and play. And when it doesn't happen right away, everybody always thinks something's wrong. When it's hard, it's hard, especially initially, to play at this level. That's why you have to commend the players for the sacrifices that they've made, because now they don't have the same outlets that they've had before. They're really regulated to, a schedule and staying by that schedule, and that's tough. But they've done a great job. Our players done a great job, but I think everybody across the country probably would say the same thing.